And there we go. And it is May 5th, and we're talking to the Zombie King, Arthur Suydam, award-winning artist for The Walking Dead, Marvel Zombies, Deadpool, Batman, Army of Darkness, and trillions of other pieces of art that you will enjoy or have enjoyed in the past. Whoa!
Flattery will get you nowhere. Greetings from wherever I am. Where am I at?
You're in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, there you go.
Okay.
Where am I?
And you created the whole zombie thing?
Yeah, my work actually started the zombie phenomenon and was instrumental in getting The Walking Dead on TV. I worked on the Marvel Zombies, Army of Darkness, Deadpool, and The Walking Dead.
And what attracted you to zombies?
Well, I'm classically trained, based on the notes from Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael from the 16th century. They rebuilt their school, the Atelier School, and it ended up being built about 4 blocks from my house. And so I went to that school. It's very similar to medical school, so I had to do a lot of work with cadavers. So for 2 years, 9 in the morning until about 6 in the evening, we had to sculpt them, paint them, draw them. And, so after doing that for 2 years, I always loved horror movies. It became a hobby for me that I stuck with, just anatomy, really, human anatomy. So I became kind of the go-to guy for the spooky stuff in the business. So
cool.
Whenever they wanted something spooky, vampires, monsters of any kind, they kind of would come to me.
Okay, and is this a family business?
Well, my family is a very old fine art family. In the 18th century, James Suydam and Henry Suydam were 2 of the Hudson River painters, which was a collection of about a dozen landscape painters that won American fine artist recognition worldwide for the first time. And then following that in the 1930s, E.H. Suydam was one of America's most renowned architectural artists. So they did landscapes, and I'm the latest Suydam, and I do zombies. That's what I
thought I recognized your name. I'm from the Hudson Valley, so I'm a big fan of
okay, that's why it would sound familiar.
Yeah, so what part?
Well, New York.
This
Hudson River Valley in New York.
Yeah, but I mean, what, Newburgh, Peekskill, Albany?
Well, they painted that whole area.
Right.
The Hudson Valleys, although they did all those landscape paintings of the whole area. They did.
Right. So
it was James Suydam. James Suydam lived in New York City. That's actually where I live. And coincidentally, we ended up living on the same street. He lived on 10th Street, and that's actually where I ended up in East Village in New York City.
Do you use any of the background from your family, the Hudson River background in this?
Interestingly enough, and oddly enough, landscapes are the things that come the easiest for me. I just trained myself on them. I never formally took landscape painting lessons, but they're the things that are the easiest for me to do. I think there's just something about, something about that they're very easy and natural for me. So I don't really paint them, although I do paint them in the backgrounds of all my pictures. So I don't really do just landscapes, like I don't do still lifes, except when I was training I had to do them in school, to fulfill the courses. But so I don't, maybe someday when I retire I'll go and I'll do some landscape paintings. But right now I'm having a lot of fun doing all the pop culture stuff.
Creating genres.
Well, working in a pop culture genre. That's what I like.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I appreciate. That's what kind of speaks to me, and that's where I have a lot of fun painting.
Do you think you'll go to Bear Mountain and start painting zombies?
I've been to Bear Mountain. I went swimming there a couple of years ago. I won't paint zombies there, but at some point, as I said, I'll probably start doing some landscape paintings. But when I do landscapes, I like to do them from memory. I don't like to really. I prefer not to use. Like to go out and paint outside. Really. I'd rather just sit down and create from nothing a landscape out of my head. That's more fun for me.
Okay, but I'm just looking at them. I can see a lot of the Hudson River School.
Right.
In the paintings.
I got you.
Do you have an image in mind? You're going to draw some zombie here,
right?
Or something.
There's a nice landscape image right here.
Yeah.
This looks more like Oklahoma, though. And I married a girl from Oklahoma. That's probably where that came from. And when I went there, it really struck me how flat everything was. That's that picture.
Right.
It's like, wow, everything's really flat out here, which is why they get those horrible tornadoes, because there's nothing stopping the wind and breaking up the wind. So it seems to stick with me. As I said, I feel like I have a natural, here's another nice landscape. There's another landscape here. I feel like they come really easy and natural to me, so I don't really feel a need to go out.
That's a very Hudson School sunset.
I got you. Yeah.
And so
Looks like it's kind of like something Bierstadt would do.
yeah. And so there's lots of stuff going on here.
We try, man. We try.
So, what's your favorite thing about coming to these conventions?
Meeting the fans and talking to the fans. I'm able to get I'll call it like a sixth sense of, a true sense of what people like and what they don't like. So in my work and what's out there in the world, what's out there in pop culture, I feel like I can get a perspective from talking to the fans, what they like and what they don't like. And that advises me when I'm actually planning on what it is I want to work on.
So you get feedback.
I get feedback, yeah.
Cool.
And you can't get that in a room by yourself. So when you're an artist, it's basically self-imposed solitary confinement. So you lock yourself away in a room, you paint, and the real reward for me is so how did they like it? After I put all that work into that painting, was it worth it? And you'll never get the answer to that unless you actually meet the fans who are out there buying your books. So to me, that's priceless. Getting paid for the paintings pays the rent, but more valuable to me is getting the feedback on the work that I do.
Cool. Okay, and last question. How did you hurt your arm?
I slipped on some wet steps. Yeah, the little things that get you, the little things got me.
Was it ichor from a dripping zombie, or just...
No, it was rain. I was in Central America.
Oh.
And it was rain, and it was really smooth tile. When I was going down the steps, the tiles were wet. I think the bottoms of my sneakers were wet. And there we went. Yeah.
Okay, and last words. What do you want to say to end this?
What do I want to say to end it? Hey, it's nice to be here. I love doing the comic conventions. Feel free to come out to the shows, guys, and say hello to artists. There's a lot of great artists here in the place. Half of them I've never seen before, and I don't know, but I've seen some really good work here, too.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much, Arthur Zombie King Suydam.
We try, man. We try.